Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome. If you're here for the Coaching with Confidence tips for eliminating self doubt, then you are in the right place. Thank you for joining us for this amazing workshop here tonight and taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. It's going to take probably about an hour or so of your time. So sit back and relax. This is super informal. My name is Kelly, and I'm a clarity coach here at Health Coach Institute, and I will be your host this evening. We're going to be chatting with one of our amazing recent graduates, and I guarantee that you're going to walk away learning something new about health and life coaching, what this career can look like for you, and how you can completely transform your life and the lives of others. I am so excited that you're here joining us now. This is such an important time to become a coach or to be thinking about becoming a coach. You are not here by mistake. You are here because you are called to serve, to help, and to support others. And the world needs coaches right now more than ever before. The best news is that you get to have the most fulfilling, flexible, money-making career while doing it. So whether you just found us or you have already begun doing some researching and talking with your dedicated clarity coach, the purpose of this call is to get all your questions answered on what becoming a health and life coach really means. What does it look like? What do you do? How do you get clients? How do you make money? These are all really great questions. And our guest today has been in your shoes. So she knows what's involved in making a decision like this to become a coach and choose the right course. So please ask questions in the chat. We have Maria, our clarity coach, who's also a clarity coach, who is helping answering questions just about the program. But if you wanted to ask a question to our guest tonight, feel free to do so. That's what she's here for. To ask a question, you want to click the word chat down at the bottom of your screen. The chat will pop up and then click on the blue drop down box and choose all panelists and attendees. You want to make sure that you're choosing all panelists and attendees so that we can all see your questions and your comments. So go ahead and set that up right now and tell us where you're tuning in from. I am tuning in from my home office in the San Francisco East Bay area in California, where we are experiencing some beautiful weather. It's a little chilly, but it's expected to warm up here in a few days. Feel free to take notes. And if you miss anything, no worries. This call will be recorded and you will get a replay emailed to you tomorrow. So sit back and enjoy. Let's see. I'm going to check out the chat right now and see who we have. We have Rhonda from Canada. Hey, Rhonda. Trish, North Carolina. Stanley from New Jersey. Hi, Stanley. Renee. Hello, Renee. Tanya. Hi, Tanya from Seattle. We have Karina from Korea. Glad you're here, Karina. Welcome. Lori from Florida. Hi, Lori. Melissa from Michigan. Martina from Orange County, California. I love Orange County. Hey, Martina. Ebony from Maine. Yes, it's cold there, I'm sure. Hey, Mariah from Florida. Hey, Shanine from Michigan. Monica, Wisconsin. Welcome, everyone. Michelle, Florida. We're so happy you're all here. So again, just relax. This is totally informal. We're just going to hear about our recent grad and what she's doing now. She's going to talk a little bit about her journey. So her name is Carol Watson. She is the president and CEO of Transformational Coaching, empowering women who are #done with diets and struggle with unwanted pounds and shame to gain confidence while loving themselves to their ideal body. Her passion is to help women break through their walls to live free and fulfilled. Prior to shifting her focus on health and life coaching, Dr. Carol was a critical care nurse for nearly 20 years, so she has experienced both sick care and prevention. Since her aha moment in 1995, she has turned her focus to holistic wellness and as an inspiring naturopathic doctor and body confidence coach, bringing a message of health, healing, and hope. She shares her own challenges with depression, morbid obesity, and food addiction in such a way that both her coaching clients and audiences around the country find her empathetic, engaging, authentic, and humorous. So please welcome Carol Watson to the show. Hi, Carol.
Howdy, howdy, howdy from Texas. Thank you so much, Kelly, and everybody who's joining in tonight. What a lovely welcome. Thank you. I guess I'd just start by sharing a little bit of my journey, right? So I enrolled in BHC. It's been a couple of years ago. I was searching actually for a program, looked at several different programs, and the reason why I ended up choosing BHC was because y'all had what I feel like was missing for me. And that was, let me back up a little bit. My guess is that a lot of y'all who are on the call tonight are people that your friends come to for advice. You probably wouldn't be here if you're not that person. I was that person. I was giving away free consultations, coaching, advice, recommendations, right? Because that's what I did as a person. I care about other people. I wanted to help other people. You're probably someone who really wants to help other people. And I was like, hey, maybe I could get paid for helping other people and giving out all my advice and recommendations. And so I was kind of searching, and what I was really missing though was a system. And BHC really provided the system with the step-by-step. I was able to kind of get a sneak peek of some of what they had to offer, if I recall thinking back, that with a 90-day program already all laid out for me, I didn't have to hire a virtual assistant to like come up with a notebook with sessions and the how-tos. So the logistics were there for me, and they offered me the ability to work on myself. Like I got to be a student of the work is what we call it. And I grew so much as a result. So I remember very clearly, Kelly and I were actually just chatting before we started. I remember speaking with my clarity coach, and my clarity coach made it so easy for me. She took away all my fears, all my concerns, all my excuses, and really helped me step into what in my heart I knew I was called to do. Was it easy? No. Was I scared? Start crying now again thinking about it, because yes, I was scared to death. Are you kidding? It's like, it's a considerable investment. Was I worth it? Could I do it? Would I graduate? Would I have clients? I mean, all the what ifs, right? They're all there. I understand those are probably some of your concerns as well. We all have them. They're part of building our confidence muscle, right? And so what I decided to do was just to trust the process and let go. One of the things that I have learned so well is trading perfection for presence. I tend to be a perfectionist, and I like to have all my ducks in a row and get it all right, right, Kelly? It's like, I gotta know. And what if I fail? Well, what if I do fail? I have learned how to embrace my seeming failures because they're all a part of the journey, and trusting that the next step is always going to appear. Y'all remember that movie? I just thought about that. What is that movie? Where the fella, oh my gosh, I'm going to stumble on this. I can't think what the movie's called, but it's he's getting ready to, he has to take a big leap. And when he leaps, then the gate appears. Oh, Raiders of the Lost Ark? I can't think what it's called. Do you know what I'm talking about, Kelly?
I remember that movie. I remember, watching it, and I remember the title of it, but jumping in a gate being there, I don't recall. I'd have to watch it again. But I get your point, right? So you're jumping, and you don't know what's going to happen, but you feel in your gut it's the right thing, and there just happens to be something there to catch you.
Exactly.
Yes.
between me, Kelly. See, just fail forward, but that's the thing. So for me, it's like, one step in front of the other, right? So I made the decision to enroll in BHC, made the investment, and I made a promise to myself and to my husband, because we really didn't have the money, quite frankly. I took money from some inheritance that I had received that I was saving up for something else. But I made a promise to my husband and myself, and I was kind of like, I'll prove it to myself. I'll just prove to you, Carol Watson, that you can repay yourself within the first 3 months of becoming a coach. Well, let's fast forward. So I started in September, and in December, we started the program. It's called the 90-day program. So it's like a 12-week program to help you with health coaching or life coaching. We start out with the health coaching path, and then we transition to the life. So I'm in the health coaching. I'm into about week 4 or 5, and they say, okay, now it's time to put out there on social media that you are ready for practice clients. So we're getting people lined up for taking them through the 90-day program. You have a buddy, and my buddy was coaching me and I was coaching her, and we were on about session 4 when I signed on my first client. I did my first, what's called, it's like a discovery session, right? To find out if what I had was a fit for them. It's like a mutual fit discussion, if you will. And so I was able to sign on my first client. And Kelly, I know it almost sounds too good to be true, but it really is true, because I totally trusted, believed in the system, believed in myself, believed in what I was doing. And I did a bazillion of those discovery session OTRs. Open the relationship conversation is what we call them in BHC, okay? So helping people bridge the gap from where they are to what they want. So mine was helping people bridge the gap from where they were experiencing themselves in their identity and beliefs about themselves and their weight, to stepping into the version of themselves that they envisioned, but they just couldn't quite experience it. And because of the systems that BHC has in place, and going to work on myself, trading perfection, presence for perfection, I was able to sign on about 12 new clients. I did 20 of those open the relationship conversations within a 30-day window, which is a lot. And I took on my first client before I even finished the 90-day program. And by the way, these were all paying clients. You start somewhere. The BHC helps you figure out where your starting point is. It's going to be different for everybody. So stay in your own lane. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. I felt like, because I was working so diligently on my own self-worth, that I felt like I needed to start asking for a fee for my very first client. So I didn't even offer a free session for my first client. I think it was $479 was my first 90-day ask. All the way up to like, now it's like 3,000 plus. So you start somewhere and you grow from there, right? So I started with the $479, but it was so fun because my confidence muscle just kept building over and over and over. And oh my gosh, totally amazed and astounded with every session, how it's like, I'm a facilitator. As coaches, we're facilitators, we're not fixers. Like, I felt like I had to fix everybody. And I realized my job is not to fix. As a coach, if I don't believe that you have within you to do what you need to do to get to where you are, then I don't have any business hiring you on as my client. I believe strongly that my clients have everything within them, and I just get to be the facilitator to help guide that process. So I'm going to pause right there because you probably have a comment or a question, and I'm rambling a little bit.
No, that's good. That's great. I love it. Yes. And I love it how you're talking about the open the relationship conversation. And that's a conversation that you have with every potential client. And coaching isn't, it's like you said, it's facilitating. It's not about telling people what to do or giving advice, because people don't do what you tell them to do. Right?
Right.
like knowledge doesn't equal behavior change. So people know what to do. A lot of people know what to do. They're just not doing it. That's the problem. And that's where the health and life coach comes in. And so I love it that you're talking about the open the relationship conversations, because it's about coaching is about asking the right questions in the right sequence, where the
Yeah.
quality of your questions determine the quality of your coaching, right? So Carol might have had a client that said where Carol said, if you could wave a magic wand, what would you want your life to look like in 90 days? And her client would say, well, gosh, Carol, I'd like to lose some weight. And Carol's going to say, well, that's great. You want to lose weight. What is having that going to do for you? Right. So you're really learning how to address the underlying reasons of why people are stuck in their bad habits. And you're going to learn how to facilitate habit change so that your clients can experience transformation and breakthroughs.
Yes. And I'll just interject there, Kelly, since you brought that
Yeah.
up. Everybody listening, all that she just went through, they give all of that to us. It's like all of the questions are there for us, the sequence in which we ask them. So I followed that script, if you will, to the T for my first few, like my first 3 clients. I pretty much followed the script, Kelly. And after 2 or 3 clients, then I started finding myself, expressing myself, switching it up a little bit. But just everybody be assured that if you're afraid, like, I don't know what I'm going to say, I don't know what I'm doing, oh my gosh, they give you everything. Everything.
Yeah, we do. We do. Your instructors are two health and life coaches, Carrie Peters and Stacy Morgenstern, and I'm telling you that these women have left nothing out in this training. They did a lot of research. They researched different coaching programs for 4 years and took out what was lacking and filled the gaps here. So we've really left nothing out. So Carol, you want to take a couple minutes and see if we have any questions? Let's see, bring your questions on for Carol, everyone. Shonda is asking, where did you find your clients? Did you already know who they were, or?
Great question. So social media. It's kind of like a little bit of a nemesis for me, but I have to tell you that for me, back up just a little bit, at one point in time, I weighed over 400 pounds. And I was the girl that was afraid to come out of the bathroom. Like, I took everything personally. I cried over everything. I had very little self-worth, very little identity and purpose. In 2014, I personally decided to transform my own life from the inside out, and I went social with it. So I created a following, if you will, on Facebook. Everybody's got Facebook friends. So all of my friends saw what I was doing. And so when I put this out there, that this is what I was doing, those are the people that raised their hand because they had been following my journey on Facebook. So my encouragement to potential coaches and new coaches is be authentic with your own struggles, because people are going to be able to identify with that. So I had this following, if you will, of women who already struggled with their weight and their worth, because I was real with my own food addiction and my own lack of self-worth. And so going through the program, then giving me that confidence again to raise my hand and say, well, I'm doing this scared, but I think I can help you. So I'm looking for some people to practice on, kind of a thing. And I put it out on Facebook was my way. Now, a lot of people use Instagram. You can use both, whatever. But honestly, my whole time coaching, I've never paid for an advertisement whatsoever. I just continue to offer value on Facebook. And by the way, another thing that the BHC program is going to give you all is a lot of resources, guides, how-tos, like like what to stock in your pantry, how to eat healthy at a restaurant. I mean, all these how-to things, and you can take little snippets of each one of those and offer value on social media as well to like attract a following. So that's where all of my people came from, is from Facebook for me.
Yeah. I had a friend who went through the program too, and she sent a private message to, 10 people she knew on her Facebook, and she got 7 paying clients out of that. So let us know in the chat. Are y'all still here with us? Can I get a hee-haw or a exclamation point if any of this is resonating with you? Feel free to ask your questions. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Just want to make sure we're all awake here. This is great. Awesome. Yes. So, hee-haw. Thanks, Kay. Woohoo, Jenny. Awesome. Okay, so let's see if we have any more questions that are coming in. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions, y'all, if you are so inclined. So Anne says, I'm having a little struggle with the health coach identity. Since you were a nurse, do you find that helpful for the non-medical person? How do you figure out your role in the healthcare team? Do you find that helpful for the non-medical person? How do you figure out your role? Yeah, I'm trying to.
I think what she's asking is, do you have to be a nurse to be a health coach? Right?
That sounds like that's what I was going to say.
Basically, the medical background. And I can tell you all, I had many buddies through my program, all non-medical people. Absolutely, you don't need to, because again, BHC gives you the basics of what you really need. Now, I have to admit that part, yes, it was easier for me because I had some of that medical background, but they give you the foundation. But again, you don't really need to know a lot about health. You need to know more about habit change. And that's what the program is really giving you, that Kelly alluded to. So lots and lots and lots of very successful coaches who are health coaches who have no medical background whatsoever.
Yes, and people come from all walks of life. We have stay-at-home moms. We have construction workers. We have retired nurses. We have personal trainers, people who've been in finance for 25 years.
One of my buddies was a guy who was a truck driver. I mean,
yeah,
and he was amazing, absolutely amazing. So
yeah, and it's all where all these people come together because they all have the same vision, right? And that's to change the consciousness of this planet by helping people become the best version of themselves. And so it doesn't matter where you're coming from, what industry you come from. If you have a passion to serve and feel like this is your purpose to help people become the best version of themselves and to get people what they want in life, then you're in the right place. Okay, so we have some more questions here.
Okay.
Let's see. Mariah is asking, were you able to do this program while working? And yes, it is self-paced, Mariah, but were you working while you were doing the program?
Yes, I was actually. I was working a part-time job, and I was working. I had a very, very large team in a direct sales company. So I was very busy with that business, which I'm no longer in that. I'm actually in something else now. But yes, kind of almost a full-time job and a part-time job, and doing my health coaching at the same time. Yeah. And guess when I started coaching? March of 2020. What happened in March of 2020?
Wow.
That's when I launched my coaching business. And I won't make income claims, but I made a really, really good income during COVID that first year of coaching just because of BHC. And I'm so grateful.
Wow.
Talk about being able to work from home, create income from home. It's like goosebumps. I was so thankful that I was in this position now to be able to just Zoom all day long.
Right.
And make money doing what I love to do, help other people.
How awesome is that? That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Very blessed.
Wow. Okay, thank you for that. Oh, and I wanted to add on, Mariah, is it self-paced? So we don't give you all the content at once. If we did, you'd be running for the hills. It's a lot of content. So we release it once a week on a drip system for 6 months. inside of your online learning hub. And inside that learning hub has all of your content, your scripts, your checklist, your templates, your handouts, your contracts, reading materials. You'll mostly be watching short videos and lessons with your instructors, Carrie and Stacy, who are professional health and life coaches and who have been now for 16 years. So you're learning from the experts. So if you're dedicating roughly 5 to 7 hours per week, you can complete this in 6 months, but you have an entire year to complete it. And everything is done on your time and at your pace. So we've built the program to work around your life and your schedule because we get it. People are busy.
Yeah. And I would just add in there, Kelly, the value and the importance of having a buddy, because they really encourage you to find a buddy to work through the program with. When you have a buddy, then you kind of pace with each other. And that's what really helped me. Like if I was just doing it on my own, I might have let things slip and, stretch it out, whatever, come up with stories, excuses. But when you've got an accountability buddy and they're counting on you showing up, like I need to have watched the video and be ready for my practice session with her the next week. So that really, I love how you guys really create, help us create the buddy. And then the other thing I'll just add here is BHC, the Basic Health Coaching Program. They call it your class a cohort. So my cohort, oh my gosh, we were so close. I would invite all of you that when you say yes to this program and you get started, show up in the Facebook group. Be a person of value there. Support your peers, and they will be there to support you. We supported each other through lots of questions and coaching each other, even in the Facebook group. So I just wanted to toss that out there because the buddy system and the cohort themselves, we were all very close.
Yeah, it is amazing. You do find besties for life, business partners for life. It's an amazing community of people who are doing this with you. So, with something like this and choosing a school, you got to make sure you have the three things to be successful: the right system, the right support, and the right accountability. Because you cannot do something like this alone. You've got to have a group of people who are doing this with you. Because you'll be, coaching your own clients and you'll be giving them those same three things in order for your clients to be successful: the right system, the right support, and the right accountability as a coach.
That's right.
Okay, so Sawad, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, but Sawad is asking, what's special about your school and program? You want to go ahead first, and then I can.
Well, again, what I would say is special, what makes it unique, and we really haven't talked about it, is Stacy and Carrie. Stacy, I cry really easily. Stacy and Carrie, who are the two, I don't know, what do you call their type? They're the gals.
So they're the creators, they're the founders, they're the instructors, they're your mentors.
Right.
They are
they're
dynamic.
Authentic. They are authentic. They are real. They're the real deal. They share their struggles of what they've been through to get to where they are. It's not like just a big charade, masquerade, parade. It's like the real deal. And
yes,
they care so deeply. And we get sessions on Zoom with them where they're actually like, you can raise your hand and be a practice client with one of them. And all of us are then learning while watching them do live coaching. So that's another thing that makes it unique, I think, is we get the opportunity to actually be coached by the experts ourselves. That's why I'm saying, you guys, I grew so much as a result of going through this program. I thought I was going through this program to be a certified coach, but really what ended up happening is it was kind of like a personal growth transformation journey, kind of disguised as a health coach program. So that's what made it unique for me, is Carrie and Stacy.
Yeah, another thing too, or a few other things that I say is unique is that um, this is a dual health and life coaching
Yeah.
program. So you actually get two certificates once you complete the program. One will say you're a certified health coach, and one will say you're a certified life coach. And I don't believe that there's another program out there that offers a dual health and life coaching program. Another thing is the personal growth from day one. You are your first client when you're coming into this, and we have an early enrollment, by the way, intro faculty workshops, and they're all catered to your success. One is called The Power of Your Vision and Truth. One is called Self Care for Success. One is called Preventing Overwhelm and the Power of Plugging into Your Community. And one is called Unstoppable Momentum, the 6 Key Success Principles and Become a Health Coach. And then the day that we release the first week of content, which is coming up, you'll get on a Better Than Ever Life live kickoff call with Carrie or Stacy. And it is so special. And I really believe that people are guided here. People who are meant to be here are guided here. So that's I think what's special, the community, the relationships, and really just learning how to change people's lives. So yeah, perfect. Let's take some more questions. Let's see. Sandy is asking, are your sessions online, in person? Do you have an office?
Do you know what? Again, because I started it with COVID, right? I have not had one single, like in my office session. It has all been, I give my clients the option of Zoom or the phone. 90% of them are on Zoom because I challenge my clients to be seen. Part of the body confidence coaching is people like to hide, right? So I invite them to actually be seen in a Zoom session with me in a safe container. And so most of mine are done through, I love the Zoom because I get to see the body language versus, kind of, you can tell by people's intonation and all of that, but I love the face-to-face on Zoom. So yeah, it's all been through Zoom, not one single in person. And by the way, I saw a couple of people asking, so I'll toss this out here. So I have probably coached at least, I'm thinking 75, 80 people through my 12-week body confidence program. And I also have a 6-month, so they can extend to the 6-month. So I have a 6-month program as well. But I've coached about 75 women through my program as a result of going through VHC.
Wow. And okay, so when did you graduate? What year? What was the month and year?
I graduated March of 2020. March of 2020.
Okay.
So it's been 2
Okay.
years.
Oh, okay. And I'm curious to know, so your first practice client was, you were charging $450 for your 90-day program. Can I ask what you're charging now for your 90-day program?
3,200.
Okay.
Same
Wow.
program. Same program. Obviously, I have had a lot of experience and a lot of practice, and
Right.
I'm so glad that I only charged $497 for my first, because I was like, I almost feel like sometimes, wow, because
Yeah.
I've grown so much, right? But yeah,
Right.
again, if you think of it this way, cost is never the issue.
It's
People buy
not.
value. People
Right.
buy value, and I offer value. I have so much confidence in them, my system, myself, and God, that everybody gets results. Now, everybody's going to be different. Some people make more progress than others, but my expectation is that I can be that facilitator to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. Now, you might not be like in 90 days, you're not going to lose, 60 pounds, but you're going to have we don't focus on the scale. We focus on the identity, the belief, the thoughts, the systems, the accountability. And just like we were talking, nobody likes to be told what to do, right? We talked about that.
Right.
So I ask my clients, what are you willing to commit to from week to week? Like, so from this session to the next session, I'm not going to tell them what to do. I let them come up with what they are willing to commit to, set themselves up for inevitable success. And
Yes.
if they're not willing to do that on a scale of 1 to 10, about a 9 or a 10, then we need to reevaluate and make it a smaller step.
Right.
Baby step progress, right?
Yes. Yes. And we hear in the program, small hinges swing really big doors. So if your client is just, drinking more water or having a glass of water before and after their meal, that's moving forward. They're on the path.
Exactly. And
Right.
we
And it's
celebrate
small
every
changes.
one of those.
Yes. Yes.
Celebrate those baby steps.
Yes. Awesome.
People do not celebrate. We don't celebrate ourselves enough, y'all. Celebrate yourself for just being here tonight.
Right.
For coming here tonight with an open mind to just explore. I mean, I am so convinced that if you are here tonight, like Kelly alluded to, there's a reason why you're on this call tonight.
Yeah.
There's a calling, there's a passion, there's a purpose, there's a drawing, there's a desire. There's something inside of you that is saying, there's more for me. I want to help people, and I can get paid really well to do it.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carol.
Just saying.
Just saying. Okay. Let's see. There's a lot of questions coming in here.
Okay.
Amanda is asking, how did you become more confident as a person and as a coach?
The first thing that comes to mind is trust. Trusting myself. And this system, I've never really thought about it. I honestly, I'm 63, y'all. You're supposed to look shocked. I don't look that old, right? 63.
No, you don't.
63 years. Well, 61 years, because I've been coaching for 2 years now. 61 years of not even knowing what it means to trust myself, to trust that inner knowing, to trust intuition, Holy Spirit, whatever you call that inside of you. I did not trust. And so I learned, I decided, let's put it this way. I decided to trust that sense from within me, that calling, that little bit of belief that what if I could? What if I could make a difference? What if I could help these gals who are struggling with their weight and their worth? What if my story could be used from pain to purpose? What if God could use what I've been through to help somebody else get through what they've been through? Instead of sitting there feeling sorry for myself, I decided to just trust the system, trust the process, trust myself, trust Stacy, Carrie. Trust is what exercised my confidence muscle. And over and over and over and over again, I proved to myself that it wasn't about me. It's about the person.
Right.
It's about my clients and what they want. Let them guide the conversation. I don't have to have the answers. They have the answers. That's how I built my confidence. Does that make sense? Sorry.
Yes.
Gosh, I cried.
Yes. You're so sweet, Carol. Yes. I love your passion. Shannon is saying I love your passion. So beautiful. You're so inspiring. All these comments. Turning fear into love. It starts with oneself. Thank you for that. Justin, very powerful, inspiring. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Maria.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, you're making me all weepy too over here. Okay. Let's see. Stanley says, Carol, have you ever used mindfulness therapy techniques?
Mindfulness. I am a mindful coach, and I've worked, I don't know, I'm not familiar with that particular, I'm not sure if that's a particular program, or I'm not sure what the question
Yeah,
is.
I'm not sure, Stanley, you want to elaborate on that? Because I haven't heard of that either. I've heard of mindfulness coaching, but mindfulness therapy techniques.
Yeah,
If you could elaborate. Yeah,
therapy makes me feel like I'm going to be a therapist. And so I would probably say no, because
right,
I don't want to be a therapist. I don't want to be a counselor.
right.
I don't know.
Um, let's see. So Marlo, I struggled in my life with self-esteem issues. Some of that is with money. I want to know what you suggest to increase my awareness of asking for the type of money we deserve.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so one of the paradigms that I learned in the coaching program is that the universe conspires in clever ways to make our reality congruent with whatever feels safest. And what felt safe to me was not asking for anything. Because y'all, and I bet some of you are the same way, and even the person asking the question, you're probably a giver. And it's a lot easier to give than it is to receive. And one of the things that I learned really early on in the program, I'm trying to remember where it was, but I can't remember if it was Stacy or if it was Carrie, but it was a real truth bomb that like literally like hit me behind the eyes. And she said that somebody who feels that they can't give themselves permission to receive their desires will always attract people who have little ability to give. So I had this mindset that I wasn't worth being paid. And so I was actually the person who was always giving. And so when I opened myself up, so I literally, like, it was a literal physical as well as with my mouth, my whole body, mind, and spirit being, just opened myself up to receive abundance. I had never given myself permission to do that. And I am living an abundant life because I've opened myself up to that, versus always being the person who has all the answers, who always is there for others, who always is the giver, 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 giver. Now, I don't feel bad taking because it's a gift. I'm receiving, I'm opening myself up. I am worthy of people paying me for what it is that I offer them because I have such value to offer them. Does that, it's like,
Yeah.
did not happen overnight. It took time, y'all. It took time, but I just kept showing up. I kept asking. I asked for feedback from my cohorts. It's like I started asking for help instead of being the person who's always giving the help. I need help too. I'm struggling too. Take off the mask and quit pretending like everything is okay and start receiving. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And in this course, you're not only understanding the value of this 90-day program, but you're understanding the value of you and what you're doing for people in this world. You could be saving people's lives by helping them change their habits. Because it's our habits, the little rituals we do every day that determine our quality of life, right? So when you're changing habits, you're changing people's lives. So it's very valuable for sure. Thank you, Carol. Let's go back to a couple of questions here. We've got about 15 more minutes. Thank you, everyone, for staying on and hanging out with us. Let's see. So Cindy is asking, Carol, how old were you when you started? When you started coaching, Cindy, is that what you're asking? Most people my age are retiring, but I feel I want to do this.
61, baby.
There you go. 61.
I tell people all the time, so seriously, like at the age of, by 61, I probably, let's just back up. So in my 30s is when I was at my peak of like well over 400 pounds. It took me a long time and went through a lot to get to where I am today. And so that's why I say nothing that you all have been through is a failure in your life. You are not a failure. Nothing you've done is a failure. It's all a stepping stone to the present moment. And there is a reason why you have been through what you have been through to get you to this place. I do not look back with regret. I don't look back and say, why not, or what if, or whatever the story might be, or the block that's trying to hold me. No, it's like, thank you, God, that I went through that to get me to where I am now. At the age of 61, I'm healthier, happier, more wholesome. I'm fit. I walk like 5 miles a day. I play pickleball. I mean, I am like, I'm a butterfly. Here's my butterfly. Did y'all see my butterfly back here? I'm the butterfly girl because I'm all about the struggle of breaking through that chrysalis so the wings can just fly.
I love it.
And no,
amazing.
I'm not taking drugs.
I love it. So it does not matter how old you are, everyone.
Oh, that was the question, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't matter how old you are. A lot of people who come through the program they're at a turning point in their life, or they're at a crossroads where they're like, what do I want to do next? And they're feeling like they want to be of service, because this world needs more coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. We are in a crisis. We are wanting health and life coaches to just be at the forefront of everything, and just help people become the best, healthiest version of themselves. So thank you for that, oh butterfly. Okay, and did you always have this much confidence? If not, when did you start noticing your confidence growing within the program?
Again, I come back to every coaching session every discovery session, or open the relationship, bridging the gap, discovery session, whatever you want to call it. Every time I had one of those, every time I actually had a client who said yes, every time I had an actual session, I actually kept a journal, Kelly, and it's like I call them my ahas. Like my aha from every one of these times was like, Carol, looky here. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't even have to have all the questions right in the right sequence. All I need to do is show up and be present and listen, and ask a few questions here and there and help guide the conversation a little bit, given the skills that BHC gives me. And that's how I continue to build my confidence muscle, is just next step, and keep going and keep going and keep growing and keep going and keep growing and keep going and keep growing. That's how I do it. Like it's not, there's not a magic wand that you can just wave and say, okay, have confidence, you coach, you can do it. No, it's taking the action, trusting the process, and just it's so fascinating to me how every time I would have these sessions, like, oh my gosh, the client, they always have it from inside. And I just stand and marvel at how every answer that every person has truly is. Now, let me also just pause in here, because we kind of laughed about me not being a counselor. So y'all, I take this very seriously. If I do not believe that a person can make rational decisions and create action steps and come up with a plan on their own, then chances are they need a counselor, right? I'm not going to take that person on. Like, there's a difference between counseling and coaching. I believe as a coach that you have the answers from within, and I just get to help guide and facilitate. A counselor is someone who really tells people what they need, because they don't have the presence of mind to be able to actually make those decisions for themselves. So that's kind of how I distinguish. I don't know how I ended up on that. I forgot what the question was.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No worries. It was, did you always have this much confidence? And when did you start feeling, and you answered the question, Carol, you
I'm
answered it.
telling you,
It was
I was the
when
girl.
you're,
I have a
yeah,
bathroom like right here. I was the girl who would go to the bathroom and cry and take it all personally. And as soon
yeah,
as I quit making it about myself, that's when things started changing, because it's not about me.
right, right,
It's about who I can help,
mhm,
but it's really not about me. I was putting too
right,
much emphasis, and that's a lot of pressure to put on ourselves, right?
mhm,
So I took that pressure off and just trusted
yeah,
that everything would come in the right timing, at the right place, and in the right sequence. And that's one of the things they taught me in BHC, is that whatever happens in a session was meant to happen.
right,
It's either a learning experience for them or for me or for both.
right, right. Amazing.
And
Awesome.
trust me, I had a lot of learning situations. They weren't always all easy. I had a couple challenging clients, and I got coaching and support through that, which really
Mhm.
helped me grow then as a coach too. Like, you've
Yes,
got somebody who keeps saying they're going to do certain things and they never do. What do you do with that? Y'all help me out with all of that.
yes. Awesome. We do. Because there are going to be people who are like, I didn't do what I was supposed to do this week. um, Annette is asking, and thank you everyone for your questions. Annette is asking, have any of your clients turned into coaches themselves? Like, were you ever coaching people who are like, I want to be a coach too?
Yeah, actually. So the BHC program has a system in place where when you refer somebody, you can actually get a nice little referral bonus for referring people. And I've gotten to take advantage of that as well, because I have had probably a hand, not all of them ended up going through the program, but I have had 2 or 3 who are like, I think I want to do what you're doing, kind of a thing. And I'm like, well, I got a program for you. So
That's
yeah,
awesome. Yes.
absolutely.
Yes, we do have a referral bonus. So if you refer someone, and you can refer as many people as you want, we do have a nice referral bonus. Dana's asking, Carol, in your intro, you mentioned you were the person everyone came to for advice. Did you have any issues with not giving advice and just guiding your clients to their own answers?
Not really at that point, because again, the sequences, the coaching sequences, the guides,
Mhm.
the systems that we had in place with BHC, I didn't feel like I needed to be an expert.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
need, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Thank you. Um, so Carol, I really want to thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. I know that we did this last year together and it was really fun and we laughed a lot, and I just want to say thank you for your authenticity and your transparency, and talking about your journey through the course, and any advice that you would give to people who are on this call who may be on the fence of deciding whether they should and where they should do it or not.
Hmm. Yeah. As soon as you said that, the word courage came to me. So it makes me think of, and I might blow this too, because it's spontaneous, but the definition of courage is not the absence of fear, but it's the belief that something is more powerful or compelling than your biggest fear.
Right. It's like taking action in spite of fear.
Right. Act in spite of fear. So that would probably be, big risks, big rewards. Think about that. So this is a risk. I admit that. Investing in you, the financial investment, right? The time commitment, and quite frankly, the personal growth. Some people might be like, I don't really want to go there with myself. I just want to coach other people, kind of thing. But I tell you what, it's like taking that action and going ahead and say yes to you. So this is okay. This is my closing thought. I have it. I have it.
Okay.
So I did a survey about 15 years ago of successful people. And I was trying to determine like what's a common denominator between all of these people that seem to just really make a difference, make decent income, and have impact on others. And you know what the answer, the common denominator, I interviewed about 40 people, like honest to God, 40 people.
Okay.
The common denominator was these people say yes, and then they figure it out. Most of us feel like we have to figure everything out, have all the answers, all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, and then we'll say yes. So I'm the kind of person that I say yes, and then God opens up the doors. The universe conspires in clever ways, and all of a sudden, all of this world opens up because I said yes. If our mindset is what if, that's not going to open up possibility, right? But if I say yes, okay, here we go, everything will fall into place as it should. So just say yes, you are worth the investment, you are worthy, you're here for a reason. We need more coaches. Do it in spite of fear.
Yes. Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you. And if you don't already know, you have your very own dedicated clarity coach wanting to help you figure out if this is the right next step for you, how to make the reality for yourself. You've received an email from them before this call, and there's a link to their calendar if you want to schedule a time on their calendar. Your clarity coach is really waiting to help you figure out if this is the right next step. We're going to go over, your clarity coaches are going to go over when the program starts, what's the benefits of enrolling early, hint, the biggest savings. The deadline is, I want to say it's Monday is the deadline. I think it might have been, I don't know. Talk to your clarity coach, and they will let you know when it is, when it's going to start, when the deadline is, the best pricing, payment plan options, and what's going to work best for you. Please ask your clarity coach too how to test drive the program. There's a 72-hour VIP access test drive into the program. Those are some videos with your instructors, Carrie and Stacy, walking you through everything. And it's a great opportunity for you to feel what it'd be like to be a student here with us. We are so grateful for you and that you joined us. And thank you so much for all of your participation, all of your questions. Deep down, this is your calling. We're going to be here for you when you're ready to talk about it. And one of the biggest things I think I want to say, one thing that sets us apart is that you are investing in your own journey where you are going to experience your own transformation. So becoming a coach is the single most profound way to create transformation, both for yourself and for others. So thank you again for being here tonight. Carol, thank you again for your time. I really appreciate you being here. It was a pleasure again, and I look forward to doing this again with you really soon. And I hope everybody has a good night.
Mwah.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Carol.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.